Testing, 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 testing.
I can hear you, Deanne. I didn't know if you needed somebody to tell you that.
Oh, good. I had to put in my earphones so that I could actually hear. I'm not sure what's going on with my computer speaker.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean, I can hear everything else, all the other applications, but there's something going on with Zoom for some reason. And I haven't had time to call IT and
Yeah.
give them free reign of my laptop.
And your life, because it takes so long.
So were you able to get the desk put together?
No, I got it in. Tamara and Jan helped me get it in because that sucker's heavy. And I'm gonna see if Garrett will help me in the morning. Tamara said those white ones are really easy to put together. So
okay.
I kind of need some strength. I just don't have any strength anymore. So
Well, at least it's in the building.
I know. I'm so excited.
Hi, Mindy.
What's the desk for?
Good evening.
It's an adjustable desk. K1 and 2 got them because it's going to be easier to be able to film our lessons for Zoom for our students who are remaining online.
Oh, awesome.
And now all of the teachers have them in their classroom. They're just a little bit smaller than those big permanent wooden desks. Hello. Yay, everybody's here. You have a quorum.
Even Josh Saylor is here.
I noticed he had some really long, pretty hair earlier.
Well, I don't know how to change it. I know how to change it normally, but apparently it's been cut off to where I can't change it. Oh, now it says Paige Saylot. So somebody changed it for me, but it was
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll change.
That's like another like French, c'est l'eau.
So is Casey not on the board anymore? Oh, okay.
She was not, like, as of the election results being published, since she didn't apply during that period. Nor has she applied since then. Unless
She didn't
someone else
submit her
got it, but I
application?
didn't. Not to me.
Right. I'll harass her one more time and then I'll let her go. Who's got the big dog?
Me.
Oh,
Well, he's not, I mean, he's kind of big, but he's not that big, but his bark is big. All right. Oh, wait. Is it 5:45? 5:46? Good to call
Yes.
to order? Okay.
Mhm.
Let's call to order at 5:46. And does anyone have anything they want to revise or prioritize on the agenda? If nothing, can someone make a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
And can I get a second?
I second it.
And then our fun roll call vote. Let me scroll my screen back over. Okay, so Mindy, approve or not approve?
Approve.
And Missy?
Approve.
And
Can you hear me talk?
Jenna- Yes. And Jennifer?
Approve.
And Cheryl?
Approve.
And I am a yes also. Am I missing someone? Who am I missing?
Me.
Paige. Okay.
Yes, I approve.
And Paige.
I assume it's the minute or the agenda. Yes, because I had to
Yeah.
log off and log back on.
Oh, that's why I lost you. Okay, then yes.
Can't get my AirPods to work. Now I can, but I had to log off because technology is being ding dong today.
All right, so agenda is approved as written, and on to approving prior meeting minutes. Let's do the December 1st regular meeting first. And I do have a revision on those just in the principal report section when you're talking about that the student that's going out of district, I would just say that we have someone who opted to go out of or who moved out of district but is choosing to still attend our school, and take out anything else pertaining to that, so it's not identifiable who the person is.
Also, just an update on that one really quick. The student did decide to enroll in a valley school. So they are not currently enrolled with us.
Very good.
So you just wanted to say one family moved out of district and chose to remain at EACS? And then take out the part about the shared family with Mirror Lake?
And if no one has any other edits, whenever someone is ready, a motion to approve as revised.
I will make a motion to approve the December 1st minutes as revised.
And can I get a second? Are you seconding? Paige is seconding. Are you all okay with the making motions on each three and then roll call voting at the end? Yes, okay. All right, so on to the December 7th special meeting minutes.
I only had a couple of like just grammar edits. I tried to write down specifics, but I can pull it back up. But under public comment, the second to the last line, I think it needs to say students. Maybe it said student, but not students. Sorry, my oven's beeping. Do you see that, or should I pull it up and find it?
The students class.
You see that?
Yep.
Okay, and then under old business, the first bullet at the bottom. Sorry.
Made utilize instead of utilized.
Yeah, utilized, may utilize, not utilized. That's all I got.
Well, if there are no other edits, I will make a motion to approve the December 7th special meeting minutes as revised.
I'll second.
All right. On to the December 16th special meeting minutes.
My question / comment for the edit for that is under old business on the third line, when you were talking about Saxon and saying that Deanne had talked to other charter schools. They are technically not charter schools like AB Birchwood and Northern Lights. They're alternative schools. I only know that because when I was at Birchwood, Daryl came out and specifically said, you are not a charter school, you are an alternative school. So I don't know if we want to be that specific, but just for an FYI.
I could just eliminate charter and just put other schools.
That's fine. I just wanted to throw that out there because, you know.
And I think on this one, I didn't have a Second. So Missy, I made you the second to adjourn on this one.
Thanks, Missy, for taking one for the team.
I don't mind.
I figured
Okay.
you'd be okay with that second.
I will make a motion to approve the December 16th special meeting minutes as revised.
I'll second.
All right, so the motions on the table are to approve the December 1st regular meeting minutes as revised, moved by Mindy, seconded by Paige, and to approve the December 7th special meeting minutes as revised, moved by Mindy, seconded by Missy, and to approve the December 16th special meeting minutes as revised, moved by Mindy, seconded by Missy. So roll call vote again to approve or not approve. Mindy.
Yes, times 3.
Missy.
Approve.
Jennifer.
Approve.
And Cheryl.
Approve.
And Paige.
I approve.
And I also approve. All right. On to public input. Jennifer, you said you have someone who has public input.
I do. Let me get her on the phone.
And I guess, does anyone else have anyone who had public input? I have not received anything. Okay.
Hi, is this Annie?
Yes.
Hi, Annie. You're on speakerphone for the APB meeting for public input. Can everybody hear? Well, you can
Yes,
hear me.
hi.
Let's let her say something. Go ahead and say something, Annie. You can introduce yourself.
Sure. Can everybody hear me? This is Annie next.
Yep, I got thumbs up. You can go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. My name is Annie Massey. I am a parent of 3 children in the Anchorage School District. I'm a business owner, volunteer, and a parents' rights advocate. I found myself in a position where I am now part of a national nonprofit. It's called Parents' Rights in Education. And I have started the newest chapter. They are growing. There are 6 new chapters across the United States. The first one was in Oregon, then Washington, Texas, Illinois, Arizona, and now Alaska. Parents' Rights in Education, like I said, is a national nonprofit organization that seeks to empower parents. We value students and enlighten communities about issues with parental rights in education today. So the reason why I wanted to reach out to you guys is I do have a child at Eagle Academy Charter School new this year. Her name's Gwen. She's in 5th grade with Mrs. Pogue. And I'm reaching out to the board here just to introduce myself and to let you know what I've been doing over the last few years, where I'm at, and to seek new members to be able to start committees to raise awareness of parental rights in Alaska and to get help, because right now there is one of me. And I need help. I need a lot of help, and we need a lot of help in Alaska. There are a lot of issues affecting education, and most parents are aware of that, especially after 2020. So I just wanted to say a little bit about me so you kind of understand who I am and where I've come from. My work in parental rights has been born from School of Life. I'm a parent. I believe in the parent-teacher partnership, always have. I believe the only way that we can make education work is with what's called the education triangle. You have student at the top, you have child, student at the top, you have the parent in the other corner, and you have the teacher in the other corner. And I think all of the people and all of the parents that I could ever talk to about this, I know that parents at Eagle Academy would understand this. I believe the people who go to Eagle Academy who understand that role is so important, that is how we make this work. That is how we do so well. And so this is actually my very first opportunity that I've taken to reach out to the community, that three-part that I said earlier: valuing students, empowering parents, and enlightening communities. This is my first step in enlightening community, and I'm reaching out to my own child's school community, because I believe if anybody is going to understand where I'm coming from as a parent, it's parents at Eagle Academy. So when I say I believe in the parent-teacher partnership, and I believe that that's the only way that education really and truly works, what I mean by that is, I've fed and watered my children. They're well rested, they've eaten, they're clothed, and they're ready to come to school, and they're ready to learn. They're disciplined, they sit, they listen, they learn. That's my part as a parent. And then when they come home, we support the educator at home. And most of the parents at Eagle Academy are going to understand that. That's part of the process. The other way we ensure that the success of our students is I've volunteered, I've stayed engaged, and that ensures their success. And that's worked really, really well for all three of our kids. They're very successful. I've logged thousands of hours volunteering in schools over 2 states, 3 districts, and experienced 6 different types of elementary school climates: 1 middle school and 1 private school, and 2 charters, including this one. And I've done that as a parent volunteer and advocate. Let's see. I've sat on 2 boards, one parent
Annie?
board at preschool.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So we do public comment kind of like the school board does public comment. So we don't necessarily engage in discussion with you, since this is your time to talk and our turn to listen. But we do have about a 5-minute time limit. So I can give you like another 1 or 2 minutes, but then we're going to have to wrap it up.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see. Sat on the PTA board at an elementary school, and I've organized the first annual Pumpkin Patch community event that still runs 6 years later. I've helped raise $13,000. It's the first ever jog-a-thon at one elementary school, which is the highest raising fundraiser. I've chaperoned more field trips than I can count. I've designed, ordered, and sold new school apparel. I've taken more pictures, edited, and submitted schools pictures than I can count. I fought hard for parents' rights around student wellness and nutrition when I didn't even realize that that's what I was doing, was fighting for parents' rights. I've been recruited for school board this year, and I have declined because I believe that this role as the director for parents' rights and education is where I'm called to be this year. So that work has all been very, very good, but there's also been a lot of things that I've seen and learned in education that need to be addressed, and they are many. And so that is why I'm reaching out to this board to seek parents and teachers, anybody who's interested in preserving parents' rights in education in Alaska, to become members and to join with me to begin the process of organizing committees to stand up for parents' rights in education that are being removed. So that's why I'm here. I appreciate your guys' time.
Thank
And I'm
you.
happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Annie. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Take care.
Am I off mute? Yes. Okay. All right. Does anyone have any other public input? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to PTO update. Oh, that's me. Hold please. Okay, we met on December 9th and talked about doing a Panda Express fundraiser, which we have since done. I think that made about $140, which was, I think, surprisingly better than we thought we were going to do. We had box tops and Coke rewards. I didn't get a total though, because they were just listed by grade verbally and I didn't write them all down, but I think that was also more than we were really expecting. Not better than previous years, but better than expected. Alicia is working with a company. I don't remember if the name is Technology Talk, but the talk they do is Technology Talk about doing a pre-recorded session. I think I've mentioned it before. She was going to schedule like a live one, but I think now she's working on getting a pre-recorded session that can be viewed about like internet safety and internet bullying and that kind of thing. And we approved a budget for the year that did include our normal this half of the year activities, just in case we can do some of them. It's built in there. And I think that's all we talked about. Did I miss anything, Mindy? Okay. And then we meet again, I believe, next Wednesday. Any questions? All right, on to principals report.
We did get a new 6th grader to start the 2nd semester. So we are at 02. We did have one leave at the end of the semester. And then we got 2 new ones. So that brings our 6th grade enrollment up to 11, which is higher than we started with. So that's good. The January 1st started the open enrollment period for the spring lottery. And I believe we have roughly 40 students already applying for seats for the fall semester. So I will have specific numbers on grade levels and things like that for our February meeting. And then the rest of the academic report for this quarter is specifically around our iReady assessments, FastBridge and MAP assessments, and the ELL access program. And so as all of our students are expected to participate in assessments, these ones in particular are designed for giving our teachers specific feedback on kiddos so that we know where they're at, what their strengths are, and what some of their needs are. Unlike the state mandated spring assessment, the PEAKS assessment, that's a summative assessment. These really look, or these look for indicators that teachers can actually use, give specific data on kiddos that they can use when designing interventions and things for kids in the classroom. So those are taking place in the month of January. The iReady assessment window opened January 4th, and we're hoping to have all of those done before January 19th. Most of the teachers have their kiddos taking the math and reading this week, and they've already started collaborating and talking with each other on strategies as we get data in for kiddos on what things we can do to help support those kiddos when they come back to us. And the reason why the iReady assessments, we're doing those online is because of the window for the Fast Bridge and MAP assessments. Those will happen. They're better to be proctored with teachers in the classroom instead of having parents do those. They're designed better to have someone leading those and monitoring.
So those students that will be doing virtual, are they going to have their parents proctor them, or are they going to have a separate time set up to do that, like on Fridays when there's like not anybody in the school?
We'll have to figure out based on the number of kiddos that are actually going online. Those are fluctuating right now. A lot of our families decided to send their kids back, but then we still have a small handful of families where the scheduling doesn't work, or there's still some concern about COVID numbers and what our mitigation strategies are and how those are going to work. So MAP does have a component where parents can do them at home, but it does work much better if we have kiddos in the building. So if our families are willing to do that, we can certainly schedule times on Friday when no one else is around. And then the other really good news is that our Chromebooks are actually in the district being imaged as we speak. So we hope to have that in the building in time for those MAP and FastBridge assessments. And some of those FastBridge assessments are only in-person assessments. They don't have an online component for part of those. We did have some facility issues that we're working on and getting taken care of. And I'm sort of glad that those happened before kids came back. So we think that we have the roof issue rectified. There was some leaking in the kindergarten classroom along the exterior wall. And so the maintenance person thinks it was caused by an ice jam. So he spent a couple hours last week, Friday, up on the roof, knocking all that ice off. And then I'll leave the staffing information for the latter part of our agenda.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Deanne?
I did. I saw under the facilities where it talks about the furniture is being moved temporarily to the gym. Is that just to create the spacing between the student desks in the classroom?
Right, we have right now approximately 13 to 16 desks in every classroom, depending on levelers. Some classes have 2 to 3 kids that are leveling up or down, and so we needed those extra desks in there. And the teachers have the rest of their desks in the gym, sort of waiting for the day where we can have all of our kiddos back in the classroom.
And then the second part of that is asking to rent a storage unit. but are we going to be able to use the gym like for gym class, or is there a reason that we won't just store it in the gym until then?
Our PE teacher uses half of the gym for her Zoom sessions. So right now we currently have it kind of stored on the far side of the gym. And it would be nice for us to get that out. So at some point, we could use the gym if particular classrooms had activities that they wanted to do that required more space than where they're at, either art or music.
So my thought when I read that was, what about if we can use CARES Act funds because we're trying to store items, what if we were able to purchase a Connex and go in our back corner of our parking lot? I don't know if it would fit there, a 10-foot that we could use to store it all. And then it would, because we're talking about having all this extra Saxon and stuff and needing a place to store it, it could then go there because we would have purchased the Connex and it would remain there. I tried to find some prices online, and you have to contact them all for a quote. But something I saw said that you could probably find one for $4,000 or $5,000, which, if you're talking about just renting space, it would be about $1,000 roughly, I would assume. So anyway, that was my thought on maybe finding some space, but then keeping the space to use for future, but using the COVID funds to purchase it because it would be needed now, but then benefiting from that in the future.
Well, it is smarter to have a one-time expense than something where we have to incur costs at for multiple years or anything like that.
So I don't know how prevalent those are right now. They've said that due to COVID, things aren't being shipped as much. So I don't know how easy those are to come by, but it would be something that I would think would be maybe worth looking into.
I can talk with purchasing in operations and see if they have any leads. The district does own several connexes that they use actually for storing emergency equipment and things like that at the comprehensive high schools and middle schools. So that might be something they can help us look at. And then we'd have to work with our landlord to make sure that it would be okay to place something on the property.
Yeah, I wasn't sure for a truck if it was to back in, if they would still be able to, if there was a Connex back there. I didn't know how that would work for maneuvering, but I figured it couldn't hurt to look into.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want that added to a next agenda?
Sure, I can try to get some quotes and information and see if that's something we'd want to take a look at.
Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions for Deanne?
So at our special meeting, we did approve to purchase all of the Saxon.
We have that as an agenda item still.
Okay, then never mind.
Okay. All right. Nothing else? Deanne, did you have anything else, or are you good?
Mm-mm.
Okay. On to Special Standards Committee. We're still tabled. Okay. And Hiring Committee update.
Well, we had interviews for we held 2 interviews today for the 3rd grade TA position, and we came to a consensus to ask Deanne to pursue checking references, and then on her, if references check out, then extending, talking to the hiring people, hiring her.
Extending an offer.
Yes, thank you. My
Right.
brain is like shutting down now.
We'd submit a summary of hire and have EEO and HR and all of the departments verify that we follow the proper protocols and procedures, and that the candidate, that we can offer the position to the candidate. So
All that, yes.
we're working through that process right now, so that we can try to get that person in line for potentially having a start date on Friday, so that they have some opportunity to meet with their teacher and get settled before all the fun starts on Tuesday. Also, we did hire a TA for second grade, and his name is Mr. Garrett Hagan. I did put a welcome to Eagle Academy sort of introduction in the newsletter for families on Friday. So he did start on January 1st, and he'll be supporting Mrs. Timberlake in her second grade classroom.
All right. Any more on that? Any questions? All right. On to election committee update. Oh no. I think we can actually take this off.
I was just gonna say that we probably could have removed that, right?
Yes. All right. No election committee update. On to old business, Saxon math materials. So we voted at the special meeting to approve the second quote that we had gotten from them of the dollar amounts on your principal's report. New, or are they those dollar amounts listed? Do we need to approve anything again, or?
Nope. Whatever we approved in December, we move forward with those quotes. So things have been ordered.
Okay, nice. And they haven't come back and said, oh, we don't have enough.
Not yet.
Okay.
And then we also were looking to try to see if there was going to be the CDs for course 2, course 3, and Saxon 5. Have we had any luck on those? Or being allowed to just print the books or copy them, I think. Something like that.
I've looked for the CD copies for those courses a handful of times, and I can't seem to track anything down that matches our issue date. And that's all I have done. I haven't looked into the copyright stuff.
But we'll have the textbooks. It's just the CD that we wouldn't have, correct? So we'll be okay with the textbook.
All right. On to Spalding accreditation. Are we still tabled on that, or do you
Yeah,
have?
I need to table that.
Okay. Budget for blue ribbon celebration. I don't remember. I think we were waiting for, well, I don't know what we were waiting for. Dan, were we waiting for you to get with the PTO to see what they were willing to do before we voted on an amount?
I don't have a dollar amount specified yet for the celebration.
Okay. Do we want to table that? Do we want to throw out a dollar amount?
I would like to just sort of, request a dollar amount, not to exceed a particular dollar amount, so that they can have an idea of what they're working with, so that, to plan, because it's hard to plan something not knowing if it's going to be approved or not. But if we tell them you have $3,000 or whatever it is, then they can start piecing some
Okay.
things together.
So for a frame of reference, when we did the big end of year celebration for Anne and Kitty retiring, I think the PTO budget for that was $1,500. And I think we spent almost every penny, and that was pretty much just only the school population with a few extras, not like we wanted to do or had talked about inviting alumni. So, and that was with some catered, some catered food, some volunteer made food. So it wasn't fully catered. And we did rent a dunk tank and a bouncy house. So all of that was included in the costs.
Was that a part of our 10? No, didn't
No,
we have a,
the 10-year reunion was previous to that. And I don't,
Yeah, that was just 2 years ago.
and I don't know what the budget for
Budget
that was. I could maybe look back and see if I have anything from that. But I don't know if I had the treasurer stuff, so I don't know if Amy would have any.
Yeah, I could see if Amy has old stuff.
But for the 10-year, we did postcards that we mailed out and invited, like we sent them to all the past families. I think we did an auction that time, that we had table events that we closed down, and did silent auction things. We did food of some sort, but I did so many PTO food related things, I can't remember what the food for that one was. We did do a slideshow that we had on thumb drives. I can't remember if we did t-shirts or something. I don't think that we spent a ton of money, but I can't remember.
and this budget is not, this doesn't include the t-shirt order, right? Because that was separate. We've already approved that, right?
Yeah, this would just be, I guess, if they wanted catered food or volunteers to make food, that would be a cost to consider. If you wanted activities like a bouncy house added or something else, that would be a cost. And we had talked about swag. I know Paige sent the thing about pins, and we had talked about getting quotes for other stuff. So I would assume that would all be included in what we want to budget for.
All right, I'm going to throw out a number. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready. See if it's matching my number in my head.
Text me, Mindy.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say.
So I make a motion that we approve up to $3,000 for the Blue Ribbon celebration. I'll use the number Deanne throughout.
You weren't close. You weren't close.
I was thinking 5,000.
Were we going to ask PTO to put some money in with this also, or?
I didn't think so. I thought this was something we were doing all on our own, but my thought was with COVID, we probably would want to have it all catered and not worry about bringing in, and that would cost more money and reaching out. So I was just thinking 5,000 for right now, but that's just me. If we're going to party, let's have a party. Let's make it good.
Do you want to stick with your motion or amend your motion?
Can we discuss what other people think?
Well, I need a second.
I will second her motion.
Okay. All right, we can discuss. I kind of agree with Mindy because let's see, when we were spending 1,500, it was less people and we're talking about inviting, not that you know that all those people will show up, but we got it catered from Hula Hands, which is relatively inexpensive and still not fully catered. Like we still had Alicia and Christina making rice and like pulled pork so that's like meat in big sides that we still didn't pay for. I know like the bouncy houses are expensive, not that you have to have a bouncy house, but yeah, it can just catering can get spendy, especially if you want something other than Hula Hands. And if we don't go to 5,000, then we don't go to 5,000, but at least it's there and you don't have to cut corners and be like, oh, nope, sorry, we're only playing with chalk today.
Exactly. We can always come in under budget.
Well, and then we can also add swag because we wanted to do a little
Yeah.
something for our alumni also. Okay, I will amend my previous motion that we budget up to $5,000 for our blue ribbon celebration.
I will second that amended motion if I need to.
Any other discussion?
I just
No? All ready to vote?
think that it will give people a starting point, but I think we're still going to be in limbo, not knowing what the municipality is going to let us do. And so I don't know. I think that it's going to be hard to plan anything with a surety. So I think there will have to be more like the drive-through style options as well as an in-person. And I don't know what that will be, but anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. That I don't know what COVID means will make this happen or not, or however. Anyway.
Well, I think this is a starting point, and we definitely don't know what's going to happen. And if we don't use the money this year, that doesn't mean we can't celebrate next year. So we'll just play it by ear.
All right, are you all ready to vote? All right, so the motion on the table is to allot up to $5,000 for a blue ribbon celebration. So it was seconded. Roll call vote. Mindy, do you approve or not approve?
Approve.
Missy?
Approve.
Jennifer?
Approve.
And Paige?
Approve.
And Cheryl?
Approve.
And I also approve. All right, so now you have a dollar amount to take to PTO. Next item is the Blue Ribbon Friday Dress Day / fundraiser. What did we have at the last meeting? We voted to get sizes for the shirts and up to a dollar amount for the shirts, but we were still kind of waiting for a couple quotes just for price comparison. Is that correct?
Price comparison for shirts. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Or wait, did we already
Well,
get?
I did hear back from High Res, and they came in surprisingly at not too much more than what Custom Ink has. I thought it was going to be a lot more, but their shirts are not screen printed; they are vinyl, so it's going to be that. That's probably why it's cheaper, because custom ink is a screen print, whereas high res has that vinyl, so like it crinkles. You know what I mean? It's not like a big vinyl, it's like cut out vinyl, but it's still that vinyl glue hot pressed on, if that makes sense. And then the lady from the local place that I'd originally said was going to get me some information has ignored my last 3 emails. So yeah, there's that.
And she's who you were waiting for prices on other stuff too, right?
I was, yes, because she was the one that was like, oh, I can hook you up with all kinds of other swag. And I'm like, okay, great. Hook me up with some other swag. And she, I emailed her after the 2 meetings ago again. And then I emailed her after the last meeting, nothing. So I guess she doesn't want our business.
Well, we did have the motion at the last meeting that the teachers would be collecting sizes, and that the order would get placed before winter break, not to exceed $25 a shirt. So we've already passed that we would do that for $25 a shirt for all the students, staff, APB, and PTO.
The order was not placed before Christmas because in order to allow parents to purchase, because I know we're gonna do, like, Vanessa wanted to get one for like her mom and possibly Anne, and then see if there's any other parents that want them for themselves. I had to change the order to like a different kind of order so that I can go in and do the big order with all of the kids' shirts and APB and PTO shirt order. And then the parents can go in the same order and buy their shirts, but they pay for it through Custom Ink so that they don't have to give the school a check, or we don't have to worry about money. Like, they pay for it and then their stuff will get shipped with our students. And then I'll just go through and pull it out and do it that way.
I think
so now we have to wait for them to do that. That's all.
Yeah, I think we had discussed that at one of the special meetings after we had discussed it at the main meeting. So, but we did approve that it would be up to $25 a shirt. So as long as whatever we have is,
and it won't be that. Yeah,
we're good. We're good for that. But you just need all our sizes, right?
I do. I sent everybody an email today with a link for the shirt. I do want to get, before Deanne makes the link go live, I do want everybody's thumbs up though on the font and the design, because I did have somebody come back and say they didn't want to get one because of the logo being like big on the middle and how it's not very flattering. So of course then it made me second guess myself, and so I'm like, oh. So if everybody's still cool with it, then we'll just leave it. Or if you want me to change the font because you don't like the font or whatever, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
The only thing that I would say is if there was another font that matched the font of the logo better.
Okay.
Because it's more of a bubbly font. The Eagle Academy Charter School it seemed more bubbly as opposed to more block, if that makes sense. I don't know what it looked like on the shirt, but
the National Blue Ribbon logo looks very Times New Roman-y.
So I don't know if you want to.
Well, and in my whole font journey, you try to you either try to match it exactly or you try to do something that's polar opposite so that it stands out. So that's the only reason that I tried to pick that one, but I can totally copy it. No, I mean, well, maybe not copy it, but I can get it closer to the font that's there if you want, like, for me to do that.
Did you say you already sent it out, Paige? You emailed it today?
I did not email it to you because I already have your size. I only sent it to Jennifer, Vanessa, and Cheryl.
Okay.
Because I didn't have, and Casey, but I wasn't really thinking she wasn't here, but she did a lot of work, so I put her on there anyway. But I knew I already had your shirt size from the link that Deanne sent me, so I didn't include you in that email. But I can send you the link if you want to look at it, but you've already seen it, so. And Mindy, I don't have a shirt size for you, so I don't know if that means you don't want one or if you forgot. It's not on the list, just so you know.
What? I did put mine down
Well, it wasn't on her spreadsheet.
because both Stacy and I talked about what size we should order because we were worried because they ran small. So we both went up to a 2X because we normally wear XL.
Did it say it ran small?
Paige said
Oh.
that.
Well, it just in the comments, people had said like, you know, it runs a little small. If you're on the fence, order up. But if you're like a solid, I always buy this size no matter what, then I think you'll be fine. But if you're like, sometimes I wear this size and sometimes I wear this size depending on the store, then yes, I did. Then order up. So
Well, sometimes I'll do some exercising then.
Oh yeah, me too.
did you want to talk about the extras from, or no? Like the pins or something else
Do we want
now
that
too, or
as
no?
part of the celebration budget, or do we want that separately?
Well, I mean, it depends on what you want to get for extras. I priced out pins, like not writing pins, but like a pin you can stick on your backpack or a hat or a jacket or something, just because that suggestion was brought to me. And then I also priced out vinyl stickers to like put on water bottles or whatever. But if there's something else you want to price out, I can add that to the list. They all have hats, they have cups, but the cups are a little pricey just because there's 6 colors in this design. So when you try to put it on a cup and then you have to pay for the cup, it ends up being almost as much, if not the same, as like one of the shirts. So it's like we might as well just buy a shirt.
So the company that couldn't do the shirts because it couldn't do multicolor, I don't know if it would work or not, just because it may be the same issue with the logo, but they had we got new shirts delivered to our office today and they had a catalog. So I was flipping through the catalog and they have drawstring non-woven bags, and for a price point per bag, for 150 it's 146, 250 it's 136, 500 it's $1.33, so on and so on. But in their picture example on one of their bags, it has 3 colors. So I don't know what their limit was before or how many colors are in the logo. But I was thinking that those bags would be kind of nice. Students would use them. Our students could use them as they go between 5th and 6th grade, or if they were leveling, they could use those bags. And when we were supposed to be non-paper, non-plastic bags in stores, everybody needs bags and things to carry. So anyway, I was thinking that might be something that people of all ages and sizes could use those as a possibility.
Do we
I
want
can ask.
that
Good.
separate though, or do we want to hand that over to PTO for them to look at prices and what kind of swag they would want to do? Since we already did shirts for everyone.
Is PTO looking for something? You know, a lot of times they're looking for something every year to do.
I mean, probably yes, because we don't have any ideas for anything. So
I think that's a great idea then. Have PTO handle the swag for alumni students.
And we can always share with them the information about the canvas bags and the pins and what Jennifer and Paige has found so far.
And maybe having a couple different options, like the water bottle stickers that Paige mentioned, the vinyl stickers, those are so popular right now.
Mhm.
So that's another good option too. It could be one of those things where you have so many of each and let them pick if we get to come to a celebration.
Well, I'm just telling you, if there's choices, I'm gonna have to have one of each.
Of course.
When you can get one, Katie can get one, Nick can get one, and then they can give them all to you.
Oh yeah, that would work because they're alumni.
All right. Is there anything else we need to discuss on this agenda item, or are we good? Good? All right. On to discuss advertising for coming school year. I sent out, like, literally right before the meeting, quotes from the Daily News, and I also had on my list to contact the Star. However, they apparently stopped printing in April and they have not started printing again. I tried to reach someone at the Echo, but they also seem to have dropped off the radar. I'm not even sure when. I did send an email to their contact us thing, but I haven't heard anything back. So I'm assuming that they are also not functioning right now. And then Jennifer sent out right before the meeting quotes from Good Deal magazine.
So is ADN like the actual newspaper that it would be advertising in?
Yes. So hang on, let me go look at what I sent. So what the guy sent me says Friday or Sunday for a 2-column, which is a 2-column and 3-inch height. It would be $342 for full color, $294 for black and white. And that's pretty small, I think, compared to what our normal advertisement is. But I suppose it could be shrunken. Or a 2x5, that's $570 full color, $490 black and white. An eighth of a page, which is 3 columns width and 5.25 tall. And these are all the Friday or Sunday paper, because I think that's when they run more ads, is $897.75 or $771.75. And then a quarter page, so I think that's the okay. So a quarter page, it says remnant rates first come first serve basis. So you may get a good spot, you may not, I assume. So Friday or Sunday, that's $700 for full color, or Monday through Thursday, $600 for full color. And then that's the only one he gave me a Monday or Thursday option on. So I guess that's all you get, Friday or Sunday, or that one type that you could have Monday through Thursday. And he did not specify, I assume that's just a one-run cost. He didn't specify if it's repeating any days, both days. He just said Friday or Sunday, this. And then I also asked him for online prices, and it looks like it is cost by how many clicks it generates. So it would be $1,200 if we got up to 210,000 clicks, $900, if I'm saying that right. If anyone else knows what impressions means better, I assume it's a click. $900 for reaching 157,000, $750 for 131,000, and $500 for 87,000.
So who reads the newspaper?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, which is why I was like, wait, do you have online?
I think we should do Good Deal magazine and a full page, because we're going to hit our community. It's free. It comes to your home. I know there's coupons in it, so I look through it.
So for the Good Deal magazine, we have missed it for February because, which I did say that I thought would possibly be an issue, not meeting the first week of January. So the deadline is she has to have it by the 10th. So we've missed February's ad, which theoretically, I think it's on advertising this time because of February is the Join Our Schools, which I'm not sure how that's happening this year. I'm assuming virtually. Are there any guidelines for that? Like, have the ASD said, we want you to do this? You're on mute.
It is on the district's radar to have a plan. They just have not figured out what the details of that plan is going to look like just yet, because they're not sure whether or not we're going to be allowed to have people in the building. So it looks like it'll be a virtual one. And so they were going to give us guidelines on how that would work.
And then when does the lottery close? Anybody know off the top of their head?
I
Close
believe it's
March, right?
I think it's the third Friday in March.
Yeah, that sounds right. So we could do the March issue, but not list open house dates. Just that's what we did last year, was just an advertisement for the school saying like highlights of our program.
And we could say call for more information or for a private
had-
tour.
The website, I think we probably had that information. We had the lottery dates and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
What is our budget for advertising? Anybody know offhand?
1,500. But we had also talked about Facebook. Did Paige get Facebook?
So Facebook, it's the same as it was before, the $5 a day or whatever for that range of people that you want to do. However, they have they've added a button that says run your ad on Instagram, which we do not currently have an Instagram account. However, I am totally game for starting one if you guys think that I should, so that if we do the Facebook ad again, that it will run on Facebook and on Instagram. And so when you were talking about the video thing, you basically choose your ad that you want to run. So typically we've just done pictures, because when we did the one last year, it was an image with a list of the dates. So that's what ran. So if you wanted a video to run instead of pictures, then we just have to create one and then put that into the Facebook page. And then that would be the ad that gets run, if that makes sense. But it's all the same, $5 a day for that amount of people. I mean, I can up it, but that seemed to be the rough wag of who we should reach out to.
Did you have any luck, Deanne, contacting Charlie Dietz about the video?
I haven't had a whole lot of time to follow up with him on that.
They've also been out of town for a couple of weeks. They just returned, I think yesterday or the day before.
I try to leave people alone at the holidays because a lot of people were traveling, and then coming back, there's the quarantine period for making sure that everybody's good to go.
I am still for the Good Deal magazine. I just think that will really reach our community.
Well, so if you did the full page, $7.95, out of our $1,500 budget. I don't know if this is the only time that we would want to advertise, or if we would want to, like, we tried to do the Bear Paw one, but who knows if that's happening this year. But that would leave $705, which if you divided by 5, that gives you 141 days if you were to use all of it for Facebook advertising. So just frame of reference how that would all work.
You are a math whiz, girl.
Well, I have a calculator, it works. I think if we did a full page ad, we would need to make sure we had somebody that could design a nice full page ad. I don't remember who did it last year and if they're still here, or am I?
I know who did it last year, but I don't know if they're still here.
But
It was
calling that Cheryl has some experience in advertising. That's something Cheryl would feel comfortable doing.
Yeah, I can do it. That's fine.
And we can
Add
get
it on
our,
to my work day. It's all I do all day anyway.
and I was thinking we can definitely, like, if we have a full page, we could get that National Blue Ribbon logo on there also, or symbol, whatever you call it.
more details too than you can in the smaller size. Does anyone want to make a motion between, well, I guess.
Now, I will point out though that they do have, so just a plain full page ad is $7.95. They do have premium ad spaces. So if you wanted to have like the inside back cover full page is $997. The back cover is $11.97 and the front cover is $13.97. Now, and they give you a free half page inside ad if you do the front cover. Now, I don't know if those positions are already spoken for, but just so that you have all that information, I'm okay with just doing a full page, but those are the premium positions that have a higher price tag on them.
I don't know if it makes any difference, but I know that at work we do, we have Pick Click Give ads running right now, and the news stations, their digital ads, they have 100% match. So we pay like $500 and we get $1,000 worth of impressions. And that's for, what is it, CBS and KTUU, which are technically one, but still separate. So, but they have different digital ads, but they have 100% match for January and February. And I'm not sure if that's just for nonprofits or if that would extend to schools also.
Which is a nonprofit. Right? So what is that? So is that like a video segment and then they also have a digital ad, or what is that?
No, they do. I mean, you could do commercials also, which we also have running, and it's the same 100% match for January and February. And I think it's 50% match in March. But no, the digital ads are like, if you look it up on your computer, and I mean, they have different sizes, which I have those sizes because we had to create those ads, but they're like, if you pull up the TV station, whichever one you look at, and then they usually have those little bars that have some kind of ad on them. It's those. And we got a lot of impressions last year for Pick Click Give. And they can make it this, I mean, like the same way you would do with Facebook. You zone in on certain area codes. So we could just say the Chugiak Eagle River area codes, and they can do it for just those.
So then like you said, pay 500 and they give you 500. Would that be if like 500 500 got you 2 weeks, then they would match that amount, so you would get it for 2 more weeks. Is that what that means?
You can tell them how long you want it to run. We do it 2 weeks at a time and pay $500 worth at a
Okay.
time. But you can say we want to spend $500 and do it for a whole month, and then we'll match it that way.
Okay.
Did you say that was CBS and NBC?
KTUU.
I don't know what I was listening to.
I think iHeartRadio also has, they do have digital ads also, because we send it to them. I'm not sure of their pricing and match on that though, but I can find out.
So if we're thinking that some of those options that Cheryl's throwing out there might be viable, we could maybe do a half page ad with Good Deal Magazine, which is $3.95. And then we could diversify our options a little. We could still do some of the Facebook with Paige, and then do some of the options that Cheryl has, possibly, and we could diversify a little bit. Unless we want to just do that full page. And then maybe one of the options, I don't know.
I like trying what Cheryl is suggesting. I think a half a page at Good Day, see what we can get with what Cheryl's suggesting with the CBS and the KTUU, and then adding a little bit of Facebook. I like that, the trio.
Does anyone want to make a motion?
I will make a motion that we run a half a page ad in Good Deal, that we do the 2 week with KTUU and CBS, and then run the Facebook ad
With what's left over.
with what's left over. Yeah.
I second it. Can I just clarify that we run a half page ad in March, Good Deal Magazine?
Oh, yes, in March.
And then when would we want to do the 2 week with KTUU CBS? Would we want to do everything in March? Or do we want to spread it out? Or
I think if we were getting 4 weeks, am I saying that right? If we pay for 2 weeks, we get 2 more weeks. Is that right, Cheryl?
No, you pay however much you pay, they dollar match.
They dollar match.
So we could say 4 weeks and they do it. But in March, it's only a 50% match.
what are they?
January and February is the 100%.
What are they matching? I'm not understanding what the match means.
Me either.
Dollar amount that you pay. So if you paid $500 and said I wanted to run this for 2 weeks, then they would give us $1,000 worth of ads for those 2 weeks. You can be very specific. I can get tomorrow the numbers for the impressions that I don't think that they can guarantee, but that they say they can get for those. But I mean, we got them last year. I think we got very, very close. So
Does it mean like it increases the size, or it is the amount of?
it's the number of impressions, the number of people that it actually reaches and who see it.
Okay.
I would say with that, doing that in, the last 2 weeks of February, and then running the good deal in March. And then with Facebook, we could, I don't know if there was enough to like do 3 weeks. You could do a week on, week off, week on, week off, week on, week off during February, March-ish.
I think if I calculated it right, it would give us still 121 days we could pay for Facebook
Oh,
if we want.
Yeah,
Did we
because it's
do-
like it's at $5 a day just for 2 weeks. It's only $70 for Facebook. So
yeah, so you
if I
could
did
do
3 weeks, it's another.
6 weeks or whatever.
So our next meeting is supposed to be February 9th. So, Cheryl, do you know if there is a deadline that you have to have it by for them to be able to plan to run it? Or is it like you turn it in one day and it's ready the next day?
They said like the day before they could do it. So I think we just have to let them know that we want to do it. So I can find out tomorrow for sure on the prices or the match, I guess. I will find out tomorrow for sure.
But then if that's the case, then we theoretically would have enough time at our February meeting if we wanted to run it the last 2 weeks of February. So we can fine tune that and then know how much there would be left to do our Facebook ad. And then I could reach out to Sandra and let her know we want a half-page ad in the March Good Deal magazine. That sound?
Yes,
Everybody?
they move pretty quickly there. So
You said you're okay with designing an ad?
yeah, I can do that.
So I can get with you on kind of what we had before, not that we have to duplicate it, but just so you can see. Okay.
Do y'all want me to set up an Instagram page for the school to link to the Facebook page so that the ad goes from Facebook to Instagram as well? Or are you good keeping it just Facebook?
Well, I think the question there is what ASD allows, because when we created the Eagle Academy Charter School Facebook page, we had done it on our own, and then ASD came out with guidelines that you have to do it this way. And so that's why we created our PTO page, and that it could also be private. And then it had to be run through, I don't remember what the guidelines were, but whether or not ASD allows our school to set up an Instagram account, or if we can do an unofficial one, I don't know.
I can look, but as I was searching tonight for information while I was waiting for Emma Grace, I saw that Anchorage School District has an Instagram page.
Well,
And the high schools around here have an Instagram page.
Well, with
So
Kitty, they gave her the Instagram camera. Like, she was allowed to have it for 2 weeks, and she was supposed to make so many posts so that they shared that around for her to post on their page, but not on our own page. So I don't know how that works.
Aside from details, does anyone have any discussion on it, or are y'all ready to vote on it? Ready to vote?
do it.
All right. So the motion on the table is to do a half-page ad in the March Good Deals magazine. Do a 2-week thing with the news station digital ad, and then run some type of Facebook ad, which may or may not be connected to an Instagram, with the leftover funds. So roll call vote again. Mindy,
Approve.
you approve? Yes, okay. Missy?
Approve.
Jennifer?
Approve.
Paige?
Approve.
And Cheryl?
Approve.
And I also approve. So the motion passes. Anything else on that one? Or are we okay just circling back in February, except working with Cheryl on getting an actual design for the Good Deal one? Good? Okay. On to election results. We left it on here, not really for election results since we already know those, but because this was what we had said we still had the open community member seat. I have not received any application, so do we want to open that again?
I will tell you that I did reach out to Casey to ask if she had thought about applying, and she said their family is moving in June. So she didn't know that it would be worth our time, worth her time to put her in this position, and then she's gone before very much time passed.
They
So
just got here.
I know she said her family's not super stoked about it, but you go where the military sends you.
Yeah, I guess you
Yep.
do.
So would this be another election where we have to vote, or would this
This is just opening the, what is that, seat G, opening the community seat again for applications for us to appoint. Yeah. It was just filling an empty seat.
maybe advertise in the next couple of newsletters? See if anybody's interested now that we're coming back face to face.
Well, and it is community member, so we could, what Daryl has suggested before, reaching out to like business partners, like First National, to see if they have anyone who'd be interested. I don't know if we want to do that or not, but do we have another length of time we want to open it for? Should we do a month this time?
We advertised, I think, through October and
Yeah.
November, and didn't get any applicants. So
And then
We
again in
can-
December, although it was the holidays, but that's when we put out that just this seat.
mhm.
Yes.
Well, I'd say, yeah, like now we're going back to in person. If we ran it in like January's newsletters and then closed it, the end of January, 1st or so of February. And if nobody applies then we might as well just leave it because we're at the point of being at the end of the year.
That is also true. We could do it, if we do it through February. So we could either close it like the 31st of this month, which would give us 3 newsletters that it's in, or February 7th, which would give us 4 newsletters. And either of those dates are before, no, they're not before our next meeting date, are they?
Well,
Is the 2nd our next date?
The 9th. February
No,
9th.
we did. Okay, so the 9th. So either of those dates are before the next meeting date.
if you
Although
close
if
it
we
at the
have
end of, yeah. Keep going.
So the 31st is probably better. I was going to say if we have multiple applicants, it would give us time to interview. Does that sound good through the
Mhm,
31st?
mhm.
All right, I will update the date on the application and send it to you again.
Sounds good.
All right. And next we have return to in-person instruction. But I'm not sure why we left that on.
Still a go.
Huh?
It's on there because
Oh, because we didn't get an official update, right?
Yep. We're still good to go as of today. And
at 50% capacity, right?
right. We have general leadership tomorrow, and I'm anticipating Dr. Bishop's going to give her community update probably on Friday to let everyone know that we're still a go. Hopefully nothing changes between now and then. I don't think it is. Numbers are still continuing to trend down, although the numbers in as far as the district is concerned have sort of gone up. So we will be, just as an FYI, starting our in-person, currently one staff member down, and we'll be having a sub for the first week in one of our classrooms.
It's me. Just let you know.
In our 6th grade classroom.
Partying.
My stinking daughter.
And so hopefully the staff has been doing really well with social distancing. I've noticed people have stayed their space apart and making sure that they have their masks on as much as possible. Because we're really going to have to count on our families to help do the screening, the daily screening at home, and staff members and things like that. And I know that a lot of our teachers and staff have been super cautious at home because, if any of our families do test positive, then that knocks us out for quite a bit of time.
All right. Anything else on return to in-person? Okay. On to new business. Deanna asked that we add the post-spring break e-learning on here for us to consider after when we're supposed to return from spring break, to do 2 weeks of e-learning to give people that have plans to travel and the rest of the school community time to properly quarantine after spring break.
Which week is spring break?
It is the 2nd week in March, currently March 8th through the 12th. And so I did put in the chat box draft language of a motion. So if you want to view the chat, I have started already, and I think Nurse Jan and Tamara have started fielding phone calls, emails with questions about what the expectations are for students returning from spring break if families have traveled. Currently, with the state order, number 6, I believe, families would be expected to quarantine after travel for 14 days if they have not had a negative COVID test within 72 hours of before their return flight. And we currently have an understanding that even with the vaccine, if you've been vaccinated, that you will still be expected to quarantine for 5 days after travel. So the vaccine doesn't exempt you from quarantining after travel. So, whether we do 1 week or 2 weeks, we do have traditionally several families that travel. And I know that, the majority, I believe out of our 125 or so families, about 100 of them have siblings. So not very many singletons in our program this year. And that means if they do travel and we do come back and start in person right after spring break, that we probably are going to have a significant portion of our students having to stay home and do remote learning during that quarantine period. So teachers would be juggling between working with their kids in person and a larger portion of their students online. So my recommendation was that we consider, at least for the first week after spring break, doing a week of remote learning. Because if our families are traveling and they do, while they're out of state, if they're able to get a COVID test within 72 hours of their return flight, then they would only be expected to quarantine for 5 days if that test came back negative and they are not symptomatic.
So my question would be, if we made this a policy or whatever, would there be families that would then say, oh, look, I have a longer spring break, anticipating that they would then come back and get the negative COVID test so that they don't have to quarantine as long? And whether or not, because it's all on your own honor system. So if people would then try to come back without having followed all of those proper protocols, would that be a concern that we would have?
I think that's always a possibility in any situation, just like we are now, right? We have just come back from winter break, and we know that we have families that have traveled, and some families are just now returning. And so if they have had their test within 72 hours of returning and they came back today, they'd have 5 days of quarantining, which if their test came back negative, would allow their kiddos to start school on Tuesday. That being said, we may have families that aren't planning on coming back till Saturday and Sunday, and we wouldn't know. It would always be on the honor system. But I would hope that considering our school population and the amount of work and time it's taken for us to get to this point, that most people will be respectful and do the right thing to protect our school population, because 1 or 2 kiddos coming into the building and someone testing positive could potentially shut down our entire building, depending on how many staff members those kiddos have come into contact with.
I know there's not an easy answer, and I just felt that
Yep.
said, because then, people are like, oh, I have a longer spring break, which is not the purpose of it. But
quite honestly, that's happened with Christmas break. We still have people or families that are out of town right now and can't come back next week in person because they have to quarantine. I don't know if I don't think there's a solution to that.
So the question is, would this help mitigate that, or does it even need to be brought up because people are going to do kind of what they're going to do? Because I know it's a lot of work for the teachers to go from in person to now we're all back on virtual, and now we're back to in person, knowing that that's always got to be in the back of the mind if something happens in the classroom with exposure and stuff. But from that perspective.
If we don't do something like this, typically what it would mean was that our families that are going to travel are going to go ahead and travel like they would do. But it would give the opportunity for those families who have really thought, well, there's no point in us traveling now because our kids are going to have to quarantine when they come back and they're going to miss school in person. So it might, in light of the fact that a lot of people haven't traveled because of the quarantine requirements that are coming into place, it might just give people some breathing room and allow them to travel. So it's something that we're going to have to deal with, whether we decide to do remote learning or whether we just try to bring everyone back with the understanding that there's a good chance the majority of our kiddos will be remote learning. This way teachers could actually plan ahead of time for that fact and just make sure that they're able to sort of concentrate all their effort in one particular manner of mode of instruction.
And as far as our teachers are concerned too, if we don't do something like this, theoretically only one teacher would be allowed to go to travel over spring break, because as I'm the only sub for the building, if they have to quarantine the week after spring break, I would only be able to cover one. And so that means the other teachers wouldn't be able to go anywhere if they are planning to go anywhere. I don't know if anybody's planning to go anywhere, but there's that side of it too.
So if we did this, then would staff members that traveled, would they then be doing 2 weeks at home and doing online learning at home as well? Or would they be expected to be in the school building?
So our telework agreements have been suspended. They haven't been rescinded. So teachers would, those that haven't traveled would have the opportunity to be in the building, but those that had traveled could telework and work from home and do their instruction like they have been doing for the first semester.
Any teacher opinion?
I think either way, it's going to be a lot of work on us. If we have to, if we have a lot of students out, that's a lot of work. If we have to prepare videos for online, that's a lot of work. So I could go either way.
I don't know. It's gonna happen. So I just say, let's just do e-learning the week after spring break. And then in person starting on the 22nd. I mean, I'll know more when I come back on January 25th, but I haven't had the chance to do teaching and posting videos and what that's going to look like. I'm only basing it on, I know what it is to present that information e-learning style because we've been doing it. And if it helps our families and a few teachers that have plans to travel over spring break, then why not?
Would anyone like to make a motion? I think Deanne said she had put kind of good example wording in the chat.
I make a motion that Eagle Academy implements proactive measures to mitigate the potential increase in COVID-19 transmission in our building by resuming instruction online for the week of March 15th through the 19th and returning in-person instruction on Monday, March 22nd.
I'll second.
Any more discussion on that? Does anyone have any other questions, concerns? Are you all ready to vote? Mommy! I am on. Cohen just came home, everyone.
Yay, Cohen's home! Woohoo!
Welcome back.
Okay. Are you all ready to vote? All right. So the motion on the table, truncated, is to do e-learning for the week after spring break.
You muted, Vanessa.
Oh, I'm just over here talking to myself.
You said the truncated version and then
Oh.
you muted.
Oh, that's weird. All right. Okay, so the truncated version of the motion is to return to e-learning for the week following spring break. Mindy, do you approve or
Approve.
not approve? And Missy
Approve.
and Jennifer
Approve.
and Paige
Approve.
and Cheryl
Approve.
and me. I also approve. Is everyone right? All right, so the motion passes. Next item. This is something we normally do in August when we do like our first board meetings for the year. But since we had to extend the election and it just happened, we held off doing that until this first meeting with all the one new person. And so we normally vote every year for chair, vice chair, and secretary positions. So I should have a description in front of me, but the chair is the person who runs the meeting and helps with the agenda and that kind of stuff. And the vice chair is the person who's the backup for that. And then the secretary takes all of the meeting notes and types up the minutes for that. So, I haven't done this in a while. Does anyone want to nominate anyone or themselves for the chair? Do we want to do them one at a time?
I would like to recommend that it stay the same.
I was going to say the same thing. I was like, let's just keep it all the same. We've only got 4 months left of school.
That's what I nominate.
That's what I'm thinking.
Cheryl wants to jump in and assume one of the positions.
Secretary?
Oh, Cheryl does?
And unless she wants,
Cheryl's like, I'm
don't
pretty
want to
sure
feel that we're
that was
her.
Okay, so if you want to make a motion to do that, then I guess that's easy.
Well, I will make a motion that we keep our officers as is.
Do we have to ask you if you want it to be that if you're one of those officers?
Oh, I guess.
Vanessa, do you want to still remain the chair?
I'm fine still doing it. Do you want to
Jennifer, Yes, I am fine with that. Jennifer, would you like to be the secretary still? I know you would really like to give it up to Cheryl, but you know, you do such a fantastic job for 4 more months. I think you can rock it out.
I suppose I could do it for 4 more months, but only 4 more months.
All right, so Cheryl, start thinking about next year if you want to start taking notes. Just saying.
All right. Does anyone want to second that?
I'll
I'll
second.
second that. Oh, sorry.
Oh, which one of you win it?
Yeah.
We can both second.
Okay, Paige and Missy.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Okay, and sorry, we have to do a roll call vote again. So the motion on the table is to keep the officers as is for the remainder of this year. This school year / board session year.
I approve.
Cindy approves. Missy?
I approve.
Jennifer?
Suppose I approve.
Paige?
I approve.
Cheryl?
I approve.
And I also approve. All right, that was easy. Future meetings, we did talk about this at the last meeting, but I just left it on. So it's at an official meeting, not just a special meeting that we decided on second Tuesdays with the exception of, is it April? That's the exception, and that's the first
Yes.
Tuesday. Okay, so those go through May, which is typical for what we schedule for, and June and July we generally don't have meetings unless we have special reasons to, and then we just schedule those as needed. So we are good with that. This is something else that we also do, which is appoint an APB designee for principal flex days, which means that someone is the contact for Deanne to say, hey, I'd like to use some of my flex days on these dates, and then they run it to the rest of the board to get like, hey, is there anything important that she should be here for instead of taking these, and then get back to her with an answer. She did ask me for some days that I need to check with you guys to make sure in February. So I don't know if you want to leave it with me, if somebody else wants to be it, but this is just for the rest of this school year person. And then we would
Is
do
it
another
during
one.
my birthday?
It's not during your birthday.
Okay, then she can have the time off.
I don't mind being that person, Vanessa, if you
Okay.
don't want to add that to your plate.
I am fine with you being that person if you would like.
Good job, Paige. Woohoo!
Okay, we'll call that good. And then I had this on here. I think I put it on in like September or August to schedule a work session for a board orientation. We haven't done like a real one of these, but I thought it would be a good idea to start doing them, especially when we get new members, because I remember when I started, it was just kind of like, what are we doing? So it would be to kind of go over, especially this year since correct me if I'm wrong, Deanne, they're not doing a charter school, what are those, conference?
Yes. So this is going to be the off year for. They were going to
Okay.
do them every other year, and so none this year.
Okay, so do we want to schedule something like that?
Yes, we do.
Cheryl's like, yes, please.
It would
Okay.
be infinitely easier if we could do it after we can meet in person. Just because that way we can have the binders with all the papers, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Looking at the policy and the bylaws.
So we would have to, it has to be public, but could we meet in person, Deanne? And do that? Like if we're
Does
masked
it have to be
and-
public because it's a work session for our board study?
Yes, it does.
When we go to those conferences down at the Ed Center, I mean, that's not, you have to pay for that and you have to go, you don't have to, it's not public.
We
So
just
if-
have to post, right?
So board trainings are not public meetings. But if you're having a work session where you're making decisions
Can
or
we assign ourselves
discussing,
training?
you can call it board member training.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
we can do that then.
Because
So-
we wouldn't be making decisions. We would just be
Correct.
studying the charter, studying the binders, studying the processes, not making any decisions whatsoever.
But
Okay.
and like what I don't know, Timmy or whoever had said, but then at the same time, we would still let people know that we were having it, so that that's the open, transparent part, that we're having this training, but it's not necessarily you're all invited to come watch us train ourselves.
Okay. that works. So could we do something like that in person?
Yes. So with just having 7 people there, you could probably use our technology room. We have these nice plexiglass shields that keep people distanced.
So then the next question is, do we want to do it sooner rather than later so that Cheryl can benefit from that right now? Or do we want to wait until after our open seat closes so that if we do get another person to fill in that spot, we want to be able to include them as well?
Good question. Good question.
We have our next meeting on February 9th, that ideally, if we have applicants, that we would be able to appoint somebody at that time. Now, whether or not their schedule would match ours, if we were going to have a meeting, I don't know, but
But we could also schedule it for tentatively schedule it for either the last week of January or the first week of February, because by then we'll have applicants or we won't have applicants. And if we don't have applicants, then we can just go ahead and do it. And if we do have applicants, then we can discuss postponing it. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's too much. Is that too much?
I say if we do it the first week of February, since it closes on the 31st, then we have some time to get both new board members in there.
Because couldn't we just have like a 15-minute special meeting to appoint that person as the community seat before, like if we did the board meeting on the weekend of the 6th or 7th of February? Or one of the evenings on the 1st through the 5th. I don't know when we're planning on doing it.
We
Yeah.
could, if we only got like one applicant and we didn't want to interview anyone, then yeah, we could do that.
Assuming that the applicant had an open schedule
Oh, I guess
for
that's
that day.
Well, that's true. I guess we should take into consideration.
I think they're just
Or
going
you
to
can,
be around waiting for us to tell them we want them now, and they'll jump. So I guess the question would be, do we want to keep it on a Tuesday night like our meetings are, or do we want to look on another day? Like, how long are we anticipating this training to take? Like an hour or two, or like 4 hours?
Ew, I'm hoping like one.
But we
Um,
all haven't been together in person in a really, really long time. So I can go ahead and tell you we need to add at least 30 minutes just for chit chat because I'm going a little crazy.
What if we close the application process or the deadline the 27th of January?
We could, but that
Because-
only gives us that only gives us 2 newsletters to get it out. So it doesn't give people more than really like a week and a half to know that it's open and apply.
Do you think the extra half a week is going to make a difference?
I was looking at, I didn't look at the 31st being a
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
Oh, that's a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's,
Because it would
so it's only going to be in 2 newsletters anyway, if we close it on the 31st, right?
it would be this Friday on the 15th and the 22nd and the 29th.
I see. I'm thinking newsletters on Mondays.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't care what the date is.
So do we want to tentatively plan Friday or Tuesday, February 2nd at the school? And if we have multiple applicants, then we can revisit that meeting day and time.
Do we want to do an evening or do we want to do a weekend or?
Well, if you're thinking an hour and a half,
Hey, weekends are not good for me.
Okay. Okay, what is the second? Okay, just Groundhog's Day. Same time that we normally do our meetings, different time.
I'm good with Tuesday, February 2nd at 5:45 p.m.
Okay.
And maybe we could all like order dinner or something.
Oh, let's tack on another half hour so we can eat.
Yeah, Paige, I'm thinking of you.
Okay. Do we want to, does that tentatively work for everyone? Yes?
yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Plugging it in my calendar.
APB training.
At the school, not on.
Yes.
Yay.
Vanessa, do you need me to be there on that day?
Can someone, Missy can lock us and unlock us, right? So if you
I
want to
can
be,
do
yes, but if you don't want to be, then no.
That was the day that I needed to request.
Oh, you're right,
off.
right. Okay. Okay. Would you like to join us? And if so, we can move the date.
I would love to be there. It just is February 2nd is the day that I need to really have that flex day off. So if it could be
Okay.
the Wednesday or the Monday, the 1st.
Monday the 1st.
The first won't work for me.
Okay.
Or we could do, yeah. Okay. 2, 3, 4. You wanted 2, 3, 4, and 5 off, right?
Yes, but I really do just need the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th would have been nice to have off too to do the things that I need to do, but I can be flexible on those other days.
Okay. What about, are Mondays just out for you, Jennifer?
My husband comes home after being gone for a month that day.
Well, I was going to say, what about Monday the 8th?
Just because we have our APB meeting the next night,
That's true.
I'd rather not do them right back to back.
Would you want to do the training before the meeting on the 9th?
I won't be able to. I have to work on
Okay.
Tuesdays.
Well,
Guarantee our regular meeting would only be an hour, and then we could do our training after. I could do that, but I don't think we can ever guarantee that.
well, we could always just go out the next week. I know it's not before the February meeting, but we could go out to the 16th.
The 16th would work for me.
If you want to do it on a weekend, I don't have to be there. So, I mean, I don't want you to keep delaying it back and back.
My husband would prefer the 16th because he'd be gone back to the slope and then there wouldn't be another meeting while he's home.
Well, that's fine with me too.
Does that work for Mindy and Cheryl?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Just so you know, I'll be 50 on that day. It'd be 2
No,
days.
well,
Mindy,
you will
for
be
50.
2 days before that.
I was gonna say, I thought your birthday was Valentine's Day.
It
But
is,
it could
but I'm
be a
just
birthday
saying,
party, Mindy.
when
We
you
could have
see me
a
on
birthday
Another
party.
hour.
I'll be 50 instead of 49, like on the 9th.
I think we need to have the meeting on the 14th.
No, that's a Sunday.
Oh.
Misty. You don't like to do weekend meetings.
All right, so we'll
that's gonna be
do
fun.
February 16th at 5:45, and theoretically a new person could then join us. Oh,
You went mute again.
I pressed it this time because someone's coming in here. All right, so the last item I put on was the lease renewal, just so it can get on the agenda and start working on that. Deanne, do you want to reach out to Sean and see if he will do another year extension for us? Go.
Yeah, I can do that. I
Okay.
think he'll be pretty happy considering, financial situations for landlords.
Have any of the businesses within our building, have any of them closed? Or have they've all been open? They're still open?
All right.
Can I ask, when is our March APB meeting?
The 9th.
On the 9th. It's on the bottom of the agenda.
That's spring break.
Spring
Is
break?
that spring break?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently,
What are we doing?
Oh dear, that's not gonna
Is that
work.
spring break?
Yep,
Yep.
spring break is the 8th through the 12th.
Oh, look at that.
Do we want to move it to the 2nd or the 16th then of March?
Well, I would say so because I'm sure nobody wants to meet on during spring break.
I would prefer the 16th. The 2nd, I'll be focusing on report cards and I'd rather use my time for that. But that's just me.
Can you please go?
I agree. 16th better, especially since we have a meeting on the 9th and the 16th of February.
Oh yeah.
the only difference is on the other side that the April one is up a week too. So
Oh,
If
that's true.
the March and April one's closer together. So either the February, March will be close or the March or April, but either way.
I feel like there's more stuff closer to the end of the year, so maybe closer in March and April is okay.
Yeah, that works.
All right, so February 9th, March 16th, April 6th, May 11th. And then I guess the last thing is the financial review, which Deanne sent out with her principal report. Riley, hurry up.
The major difference or expense is that we did unencumber our unallocated reserve. I think it was $39.80 for the $55,000 and transferred that to cover the PR for the Saxon math order for this, since it's going to come in this year. we used our unallocated funds for that.
I did have a question that is now coming back to my mind. At our last meeting, you had talked about using some of the COVID funds for the RTI conference that was coming up. Is that right?
Yes.
Did anybody decide that they wanted to do that?
We have one teacher, Miss Edison, said that she would like to use that for the RTI conference. And so if she's signed up, we can reimburse her for that.
I just wasn't sure if like all the staff was going and where that would be listed if it was happening.
She was the only one that responded.
When is that again? I'm sure I wrote it down.
Hold on, I have it right here. Just
Can I
a sec.
Sign up? Okay.
It is. Okay. Oh no. Sorry, I don't have that. Mindy, I think it's the last weekend in January.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions on the GL report?
It's January 23rd and 24th.
Thank you, Missy.
If no one has any questions, does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion that we adjourn the meeting at 7:55 p.m.
And can I get a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Oh,
Go ahead, Paige.
beat you
It's
that
yours.
time. I beat you that time.
I'll third.
All right. So adjourned at 7:56. And that is all for tonight.